I'm going to rank the greatest bantamweight title reigns in the UFC. Let's see if you don't understand what I just said. I'm going to be ranking the UFC fighters that became undisputed UFC champions. In this video, bantamweight specifically. And I'm going to rank them based off of the title wins. And I'm not going to mention their losses after after they lose the belt, or their wins before the belt. Only during their title reigns. For people like Dillashaw and Cruz, they had multiple reigns. I will talk about those reigns. They all count like together for me. Like it's overall who was the greater champion. And let's start off with Renan Barao, and he gets the D tier for me straight away. Now, he was a beast. He went undefeated for like 30 fights or something ridiculous. I don't even know the exact number. Might have been like 31. I don't know. But he did become the champion of the UFC by beating Uriah Faber by decision. But that was only the interim. So we're not counting that fight or his next win. We'll start off when he beat Eddie Wineland. That was for the official UFC championship undisputed belt. Not no interim. Dominick Cruz, they finally stripped him because he just didn't fight. And he defended it one time after that against Uriah Faber. And then he lost against TJ Dillashaw. So with that being said, you had two title defenses as the actual undisputed champion, which is what I'm basing this off of. And they were against Wineland, which he's good. He's not great. And Uriah Faber, who was on the cusp of almost being considered almost being great. He's not great at all either. He's not. He was very well known. Very popular guy. But he's not going to be regarded as one of the greatest bantamweights of all time. Even if some people consider him today to still be one. In like 10, 15 years, a lot of these fighters coming up, they're all going to be way better than Uriah Faber ever was. And it'll progress like that. But for him, he's not really that good. I don't rank him that highly. All right. So next, let's talk about the guy who beat Barao. Enough shitting on what's his name, the California kid, TJ Dillashaw. I might be biased right here, but I'm gonna give him a B. He beat Barao for the undisputed belt. He defended it against Barao and against this guy called Joe Soto. Krillin! Sorry guys, I had to let my dog know. I don't know what the hell that was. He's not messing up this video. But anyways, he ended up losing it after two title defenses. But he had 3 title wins in total right there. That was pretty mean. He loses against Dominick Cruz in a split decision. He has to win a couple times before he gets an opportunity to bounce back, and he regains the title. He actually defends that title against the same guy he beat, to get it the second time, Cody Garbrandt. And he beat the shit out of him both those fights. Amazing. And, beating Cody Garbrandt twice, beating Barao twice, I think that's a B. These guys, when they were on their come up, they beat the shit out of everybody. And TJ Dillashaw, he said, hold on. I'm him also. You could talk about his steroid use because I know everybody likes to always bring it up. I won't bring it up. Well, I just did. But I think a lot of these guys are on steroids. I don't really let that affect me. And, let's see who's next. Let's go with Dominick Cruz. Am I going to give him an A? I'll probably have to give him an A. He first got the belt against this guy called Scott Jorgensen. and he defended the WEC belt, but that was also the first fight to officially crown a bantamweight fighter. I don't think it was in the UFC, but like it was because the UFC was merging, or the WEC was merging with the UFC at the time. So he became the new bantamweight champion of the UFC, the very first. He defended it against Uriah Faber, which, I already told you guys how I feel about that. All right. He's a solid win. It's okay. He actually, you guys probably don't know because, no, you guys probably do know, but if you're a filthy casual, you probably don't know that Demetrius Johnson went up to 135 and he lost against Dominick Cruz unanimously. Dominick Cruz was too big, too good. It was an okay. I'd never actually seen the full fight. I've only seen little highlights, and it looks like it was kind of a boring fight. But I didn't see it, and after that though, he actually got stripped of the belt because, he just wouldn't fight enough. So after being stripped from the belt, let's see, he comes back and he wins against TJ Dillashaw. That's an amazing ass win, Then he beats Uriah Faber. Okay, guys, we know where I lie here. Okay, so now that I've kind of ran through it all again, Jorgensen, Faber twice, Demetrius Johnson and TJ Dillashaw are amazing ass title defenses. I cannot lie. And they were all at their prime and everything, like, you can't say Demetrius Johnson was young or nothing. No. And you can't say Dillashaw was in his prime either. No. You can say that Cruz already had fucked up knees, and he still beat both those guys. Which both those guys, like, on people's, like, rankings, they're all gonna rank everybody's ranking TJ Dillashaw and Demetrius Johnson as greater fighters than Dominick Cruz, but Dominick Cruz beat both of them, so yeah, enough said. I give him an A. I think I'm a little biased though, because he was one of my favorite fighters when I was first watching the UFC and, starting to like the UFC. So maybe he realistically might be a B. I'm gonna keep him at an A because I am biased, like I just said. Well, I don't know if I'm biased. You tell me in the chat, in the comments, if I'm being biased. But yeah, that is what it is. He ended up getting his ass whooped terribly, by Cody Garbrandt to lose the belt. So I guess it only makes sense that we talk about Cody Garbrandt next, right? Okay. Cody Garbrandt, title reign. He did beat Dominick Cruz, so I'm going to give him a C. After that, he lost it right away. So, one great win. I think it deserves to say that he had a... No, we can't give it over Barao. He actually had 2 wins. And I understand that the guys he beat were not legendary, but you also got to remember that Faber did have the skills to beat Dominick Cruz. Yeah, he did beat Dominick Cruz a long ass time ago. And long before their 2 other fights, I'm taking it back. Cody Garbrandt beating Dominick Cruz. When Dominick Cruz, he was, I thought he was gonna, at the time, maybe I didn't think he was at 100%, but he also wasn't at like 90, so I still think that was an amazing win. And yeah, beating one of the greatest bantamweight champions, I think, puts you over beating 2 guys who never became a bantamweight champion. So yeah, that's my reasoning. Since we already talked about who beat his ass, so who will we talk about next? I know. Let's talk about this Henry Cejudo guy. Now, Henry Cejudo defended it like what? 1 time? against Dominick Cruz, and he won it against Moraes. That has to give him a B, because beating Dominick Cruz, even though Dominick Cruz was older when Cody Garbrandt fought him, he did TKO him. Cody Garbrandt, he didn't TKO him, and he also TKO'd Moraes. So these wins were very impressive. And yeah, that's why I'm gonna give it to him. He did do really good, I wish I could talk about his flyweight reign, but that's not this video. He's great up. He was great there too, with even though I think he only had 2 wins there too, something like that. Yeah, beating Marlon Moraes and Dominick Cruz. Dominick Cruz gets you in the C tier at least, and then Marlon Moraes bumps him up for me a little bit more. And even though Moraes isn't like an elite ass fighter or nothing like that, I think Marlon Moraes, no offense to Barao, I think he beats up Eddie Wineland, and he beats up Uriah Faber. So there's that. I think Cejudo at a B tier is pretty good. Okay, and now we can talk about someone who, crazy enough, I'm gonna have to give him an A. Until I talk, I'm gonna put him in the A tier. Maybe I might even switch him up to S. I'm not sure. Let's see. He won it against Petr Yan. I'm talking about Aljamain Sterling. He won by DQ, illegal knee. Looked like he played it out a little bit. At the time, I was really mad at him because I was a Petr Yan fanboy. And, the rematch opened my eyes. I was like, okay, no, this guy's actually very solid. He beat Petr Yan. I think he did in a split decision. I think it was split. It was really close. He then beat TJ Dillashaw. Even though TJ Dillashaw right away, his arm went limp, or his shoulder popped out of its socket. And he was basically unable to do anything throughout the whole fight. You can't say that's Sterling's fault. You could take away a lot of credit for the win, but at the end of the day, the man that he was in front of at the end of the day was TJ Dillashaw. Even if it was an injured TJ Dillashaw, that injured TJ Dillashaw kills 99% of humans. Maybe not 99%, maybe like 95, 98, 99, somewhere in the 90s, because he is short and small. But even with one arm, TJ Dillashaw is who he is, so he still gets some credit for that. He then ended up beating Henry Cejudo. Like, come on, these names, beating Petr Yan, actually beating him, not just the fluky decision. Not the fluky knee. Actually beating Henry Cejudo, and then you have a fluky win against TJ Dillashaw, but you TKO'd TJ Dillashaw. He couldn't even pick up his arm. I think that's an A tier. Man, I think if he would have defended it one more time, I would have had to give him the freaking S tier. But unfortunately, I don't think I can do that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. 2 more fighters. This guy, Petr Yan, same tier as Cody Garbrandt. They won once, could not defend it. But the guys that they beat were very impressive. So they both get a C tier for that. Cody Garbrandt, he did beat Dominick Cruz. And Petr Yan beat up Jose Aldo. It was an amazing fight. I saw that fight, and I was going for Aldo at the time. And yeah, Petr Yan, he was losing in the first round, but I think he won every other round. And then he eventually TKO'd Aldo. He made Aldo quit, Aldo was on his knees, head down, with his hands like over the back of his head and curled up. He he didn't want any anymore. And I was like, damn, Petr Yan is a beast. He lost right after, though, because of that illegal knee. He hasn't been able to fight for the belt ever since. I mean, what am I talking about? He did fight for the belt. What? He lost against Sterling in the rematch. So, yes, that's why. Because he lost to Sterling. He lost to Sterling twice, actually. And, yeah, that's just kind of where we are. Will he win it again? Maybe. No, I don't think so. I don't think he beats O'Malley. And since we're talking about O'Malley, you know, the last one, what are we gonna put O'Malley? Where does he rank? So far, he only has 2 wins. But with these 2 wins, I think he's already in the A tier. No, okay. Can I say he's... It's because the wins, guys, the wins are against Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling. You know... Sorry, Aljamain Sterling. I mean, fuck. Oh, I'm tripping. It wasn't against Petr Yan. It was against Marlon Vera. So, yeah, never mind. I don't know why I was thinking it was Petr Yan. It's because I have his record up here and I saw Petr Yan. He beat Petr Yan and then got the title fight, but we're not talking about that fight. Does not count. I'm sorry. Aljamain Sterling and Marlon Vera. That's definitely B tier worthy. Beating Aljamain Sterling is amazing. Beating Marlon Vera, he's alright. He's one of those in the mix kind of guys. He's one of those Uriah Faber kind of guys where, yeah, he's cool. People like him. He's very popular. He might not ever actually be the UFC champion, even though he did fight for it. He probably will never become a champion. So, you know, yeah, B tier. He's like 1 or 2 great fights away from being S tier, though. And I do think O'Malley is going to be the first person that I would consider putting at an S tier, you know, for greatest bantamweight tier list videos. My video. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, let me know what you guys think in the comments, what you guys would change. And yeah, the only thing I could say is if you made it this far to the end of the video, type like caca in the comments or something. And also let me know what you guys think. Alright.